Okay, in this video, I'm going to be talking about solving equations using the distributive property. Okay, so find that on your reference guide. And before we actually go through this example, I want to give you a couple of reminders when solving equations. And those are, just remember that the ultimate goal is to isolate the variable or get it by itself. So if your variable in the equation is x, you want to end up with x is equal to something. That's the whole point of doing this. You want to find out what x stands for, okay, what it's equal to. And then the other thing you always want to remember is whatever you do to one side of an equation, you should do, or you have to do, to the other side of the equation. And the way that I remember that is I think of the equal sign as my balancing point. So this is one side and this is one side. And whatever I do over here on the left, I would have to do on the right as well. So let's go ahead and look at your example. What makes this equation different than the ones that we've seen in the previous videos is you have parentheses. Okay, so we have negative 18 is equal to 6 and then times all of this in parentheses. That's what it means when you have an expression here in parentheses. It's 6 times all of that and then plus 6x. All right, so just like an order of operations that says you always work with parentheses first, you need to do that with equations as well. And so when you're solving equations with parentheses, the first step is to use the distributive property to get rid of parentheses. So we want to go ahead and I like to draw in little swoops to remind myself I will take 6 times this first part and then 6 times the second part as well. And then I'm going to go ahead and rewrite my equation. So I would have negative 18 is equal to 6 times 1 is 6, and then 6 times a positive 3x. Always look at this sign in the equation because it's positive. Plus is the same as positive. So 6 times a positive 3x would give me a positive 18x. So to show that it's positive, I put in a plus 18x. And then I also have plus this 6x that is on the end. Now I'm going to go ahead and extend my equal sign, that balancing point, to help me remember whatever I do to the left, I have to do to the right as well. Now I'm going to go ahead and combine like terms, okay? So I look on the left, there's nothing to combine over here. I look on the right, I have a 6, but I don't have any other constant, but I have an 18x and a positive 6x, a positive 18x and a positive 6x. So now on the left, or excuse me, the right side, I have 6 plus, and then 18x, a positive plus a 6x would give me 24x. All right, is equal to, and then on the left side, I still just have my negative 18. Okay, for step 3, I need to undo the addition or subtraction on the variable side. Now we're down to a 2-step equation. So I need to get rid of this constant here. Remember, when we're solving for x, we kind of work away from the x in. So I need to get rid of this positive 6. So to do that, I subtract 6. And then I would have to do that to the left side as well. And then the positive 6 and the negative 6, or the minus 6, cancel out. And then I have negative 18 minus 6 would give me a negative 24 is equal to a positive 24x. I'm really emphasizing that. You always need to look in front of the number to see if it's a positive or negative. Since this has a plus, it ends up being a positive 24. Okay? And then for the last step, step 4, Okay, for step 4, that is undoing multiplication or division on the variable side. Okay, so I have 24 times x, so I would need to divide by 24 to cancel those out, but if I do it to that side, I have to do it to this side as well. And then these cancel out, positive 24 divided by positive 24. And it leaves me with x, and then negative 24 divided by a positive 24 would be a negative 1. So x is equal to negative 1. Okay, and then you can go ahead and plug the -1 in to the x and go ahead and check that. So if x is -1, I would have 3 times -1, which would be -3. Add that to 1, give me -2. Multiply that by 6, it would give me -12. Okay, this is too much for me to keep track of. So that would give me a whole -12. And then if I plugged it in here, I would have a +6 times -1, which would be -6. And a -12 minus 6 would be -18. So once you're done, go ahead and check it, either, by hand, or you could always use a calculator. Okay, so go ahead, pause the video if you need to, and then you are ready to try skill set D practice problems.